In this module, we are going to combine the two skills that we've explored in Module 1 and Module 2, which is spatial awareness and using smooth micro movements with the control sticks. So number 1 is what makes a cinematic move. If you want your audience to be gripped by your drone shots, then you want to hold their attention from the beginning right to the end. And to do this, you want to tell a story throughout the shot. Number 2, with this in mind, we're going to look at our top 3 epic cinematic drone moves. Number 3 is positioning yourself. How to make sure you have the best view of your subject and your drone without getting in the shot yourself. Number 4 is stick controls, keeping your stick controls slow and smooth for each shot. And number 5 is the checklist for you to go and do it yourself. In this first stage of the simple but epic cinematic drone moves module, we want you to think about what makes a cinematic move. In order to keep your audience's attention, you want to have a sense of storytelling in the shot and ensure they will want to keep watching. To do this, one easy trick is to have something be revealed in the shot. This element of surprise or progression will hold your audience's attention from start to finish. With this in mind, we can now have a look at our top 3 simple but epic cinematic drone moves. First up, we have the reverse reveal. For this shot, the drone would move backwards and reveal something into the frame. It could be a person, a tree, or a building, for example. In this example, we see a sea of bluebells in a forest, and the drone moves backwards and reveals Mish sat in the bluebells as the drone slowly moves away from her, revealing more and more bluebells. Up next is the view reveal. For this shot, the drone rises up from behind something, which could be a building or a tree, for example, and reveals the view beyond. And lastly is the bird's eye spin. This one is used a lot in TV, and it starts low but directly above a subject and slowly rises up and spins at the same time to reveal how much space is around the subject. With each of the 3 examples I've shown you, it's very important to make sure you're in a position that gives you the best view of the subject and the drone, and also make sure you will not be in the shot at any point. For this shot, I had to be directly behind Mish in the bluebells so I could keep an eye on the drone at all times. It was very important for me to make sure I watched the drone at all times and did not glance at the screen, because I had very little room for movement and I needed to make sure the clearance between the drone and Mish was nice and safe. For shot number 2, I also needed to be directly behind the drone and make sure the drone was between me and the subject I was using to reveal the view. This way I could judge distances safely between the drone and the trees as I rose up above and beyond them. And for shot number 3, I had to be a fair distance away from the subject, because the higher I went with the drone, the more of the space around the subject I could see and reveal. So this brings us on to step 4, which is all about stick control, nice slow movements. The first task in this cinematic control module is practicing the reverse reveal. So what we want you to do is to set yourself up in a nice big open space with a gate or a wall or something you can fly over with no obstructions around you on either side, which are trees or pylons, electricity pylons or anything like that. Send your drone towards the gate or the fence and make sure you have at least 3 feet or 1 meter between the drone and the top of the gate. Fly forwards over the gate and then backwards over the gate to make sure you have a nice straight line between you, the drone and the gate. Once you've done this a few times, repeat the process but gradually reduce the space between the drone and the top of the gate each time, and see how close you can get as you fly backwards over it. Make sure you are keeping your eyes on the drone at all times and do not be tempted to look down at the camera view. The camera will make things appear closer than they actually are, so always make sure you're keeping your eyes on the drone. For shot number 2, which is the view reveal, there are 2 ways to achieve this shot. Firstly, if you start the drone nice and low, using the subject to obscure the view, and just push the left stick straight up to increase height, and you will eventually reveal the view. The second way to do this shot is to start low with a good distance between you and the subject you're using to reveal the view. Slowly start to push the right controller to head towards the subject, and then add the left stick to gain height as you are going forwards. This way you will fly slowly over the subject and reveal the same view, but you will have a forwards movement as well as an upwards movement. For the third shot, which is the bird's eye spin, fly your drone directly above the subject in a large empty space. Tilt the camera directly downwards and make sure your subject is lined up directly in the middle of your frame. Now slowly move the left stick forwards to begin gaining height, and gradually push the left stick also slightly anti-clockwise. Keep gaining height and keep gaining spin until you reach the maximum safe height or you reveal yourself in the frame. Keep practicing this move until you are happy with the speed of the spin or revealing the view around the subject. So to summarise the steps we've explored in this module, here is what we did. Firstly, we had a look at 3 of our simple but epic cinematic drone moves. The backwards reveal, using close proximity, the vertical reveal, revealing a dramatic view, and the bird's eye spin. Number 2 is positioning yourself, how to make sure you have the best view of your drone and your subject, but keeping yourself outside of the frame throughout the shot. And number 3 is stick controls. We then had a look at how to keep your movement smooth and slow and controlled.